Hi, my name is Catherine Elmore. I'm currently a student at Georgia State University in Atlanta, Georgia. I have a 3.4 GPA right now, and I graduated from high school with a 3.0. Let's talk about the Helping Outstanding Pupils Educationally Scholarship and the changes that have been made to it by the new bill, or HOPE. Now, under the system of Old HOPE, all you had to do to get the scholarship was you had to get a 3.0 when you graduated from high school. You had to maintain a 3.0 GPA in college, and they'd check on your eligibility every 30 credit hours. So about once a year for most students. 3.0. Now, the new changes have split the HOPE scholarship into two separate scholarships. The first scholarship is called the Zell Miller Scholarship. In order to be eligible for the Zell Miller Scholarship, you have to get, in high school, a 3.7 GPA. In order to maintain the Zell Miller Scholarship in college, you have to keep a GPA of at least 3.3. Also, to get the Zell Miller Scholarship, in high school you have to get at least a 26 score on the ACT. The average score on the ACT is 20, I believe. 20. Or 16. It's 20 or it's something like that. Or you have to get a 1200 on the SAT. I believe the average on the reading and math portions of the SAT. I believe the expected average score for those two sections on the SAT is 1000. Just to give you an idea of what that is. The other scholarship that has been made out of it is the HOPE Scholarship. They're still calling it the HOPE, but it's vastly changed. What this HOPE Scholarship will do is, if you maintain a 3.0 in high school, and you maintain a 3.0 in college, then the HOPE Scholarship will pay 90% of your school tuition. Now, to a lot of people, 90% of tuition seems like a whole lot. It seems like a ton of money. It doesn't seem like that big a problem to just have to pay 10% of your tuition. But there's some problems that a lot of people don't realize. This is the yearly tuition to the college, Georgia Gwinnett College. It's a relatively small college. I think it has about 4,000 students. It's in Lawrenceville, Georgia. It's a 4-year college. 10% of the tuition to here for a year would be $320. This is a year's worth of tuition to Georgia State University, which is the school I go to. It's in Atlanta, Georgia. It has, I think, 40,000 students. The cost of going here for a year for a student that doesn't receive a scholarship is $7,070. I believe, from what I could tell, this is also the current rate for tech. Oh yeah, all of these are 2010, 2011 tuition rates. This is the in-state non-scholarship tuition for the University of Georgia, or UGA. $8,736. 10% of this is about $874. Now, those don't seem like that giant amounts, especially for GGC. They seem like anyone who can go to college can pay them. But the sneaky hidden part of the bill is that the HOPE Scholarship will no longer pay fees. Now, most students don't even know what their fees cost if they have the HOPE Scholarship right now. I didn't even know what my tuition cost until I was looking this up. But the fees are much higher than you'd expect. The fees for Georgia Gwinnett College, or GGC, are $560 per year. This means for a student attending GGC under the new HOPE Scholarship would have to pay $880 to attend there per year, not including the cost of books. This is the cost of fees at Georgia State University, or GSU, $814. That means total, before books, For a student to attend Georgia State University, it costs $1,521. These are the fees for Georgia Tech University. $823 per year before books with the New Hope Scholarship. That means with the New Hope Scholarship, a student at Georgia Tech would have to pay $1,530 per year to attend. None of this even, I'm not even beginning to talk about housing. UGA, the fees for UGA are $833. Combined with 10% of the tuition, this totals $1,707 approximately. Now, those are pretty big amounts, but that's not even taking into account that every year the cost of fees is rising and the cost of tuition is going up. Now, up until now, the amount of money given to each student from the Hope Scholarship has been based pretty much on how much the tuition costs that year. However, from now on, the amount given is going to be based on how much the college charged for tuition this year. The amount of money given with Hope will not go up every year like it has before, which means progressively each year these amounts are going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. That means with the New Hope, probably next year or the year after that, a student attending UGA will have to pay $2,000 a year to go to UGA. Now, a requirement of the New Hope system for high schoolers is that they're going to have to take more rigorous classes. More rigorous classes, said by politicians, means one thing: AP classes. Now, the cost of an AP test, one AP test per year, is usually covered by the school. Every test after that costs $87. If a student is taking several tests, this can really add up. One year, I had to pay nearly $600 to take my AP exams in high school. Now, students can get vouchers from the AP system. The College Board runs the AP tests to get their price reduced. Still, they have to pay some amount of money. They have to pay $22 to take their AP exams. I would also like to just add in here the fact that these changes are not being grandfathered in. If you got a 3.0 in high school like I did, there is no chance whatsoever of you receiving the Zell Miller Scholarship. Nothing you can do besides traveling back in time and slapping your younger self and telling them to get better grades and telling them to get 3.7 can get you the Zell Miller Scholarship. And frankly, if you can invent a time machine, I doubt you need it. The Zell Miller Scholarship is only open to students in high school going into college or students currently in college that happened to make a 3.7 or higher GPA. Yeah. Let's talk about the lottery for a second. The Georgia Lottery is what provides the money for the Hope Scholarship and the Zell Miller Scholarship. It also provides money to pre-K programs at public schools. This year, 2010, well, the fiscal year of 2010, so not this year at all. This is how much money the Georgia Lottery took in. $3.6 billion. That's a lot of zeros. This is how much money it took in. This is how much money it gave to education. That includes pre-K and the Hope Scholarship. I wrote that down wrong on the back of the card. $883 million, approximately. More than that. I realize that the lottery program has to pay its employees, that it has to run its systems, but one of the proposed ways of keeping the Hope Scholarship as it was, that was introduced by lawmakers during the debates on this issue was cutting back on the advertising for the Georgia lottery. If you watch television in Georgia, you realize that very, very frequently commercials for the Georgia lottery will appear. So basically, the disparity between these two is based on two main things. Well, three. Advertising, salaries for employees of the Georgia State Lottery, and bonuses for employees of the Georgia State Lottery. One proposed idea for keeping the Old Hope was to cut back on advertising. A lot of people are complaining about the bonuses to employees of the Georgia Lottery. I'm just giving you the information, I'm not commenting on it. So those are the changes that have been made to the Hope Scholarship system. I hope this can enable you to come to your own conclusions about it. I hope you've learned a little bit more about how it affects you. All this information is available online. I got it all from the AJC, independent websites, news websites that were covering quotes from the governor, statements by lawmakers, information from college websites, everything. So, go out, find out more about it. I think this overhaul system is terrible. Many more were proposed that would not affect as many students. Personally, my own commentary on this, the worst part of it is the lack of grandfathering it in. Because students like me, who really turned themselves around when they got to college, or had to work really hard to get the Hope Scholarship in high school, or just had problems like that, it's impossible for us now to get our full tuition paid. Even if I get straight A's for the rest of college, even if I get A+ in every one of my classes, never make a mistake, graduate from college with, even if I am the highest, best student at Georgia State University the year I graduate, I will never have my full tuition paid by the state of Georgia. I just think it's a terrible system. I hope that people as parents, as students, as voters will take this into account on how they think about our state government and the Hope Scholarship. Thank you for your time.